Bank 2024 results. I just got through watching the PLE and today we're going to talk about what went down. Let's get right into it. Starting off with the men's Money in the Bank match then, we saw Drew McIntyre pull down the briefcase. If you watched my main channel video, you'll see that I actually predicted Jay, but if you watched my short that I posted hours before the show went live, I actually changed that prediction to Drew after we watched the SmackDown and we saw that Jay and LA Knight were standing tall, and I was like, we know what that means, and Drew obviously did go out and win it, which did make the most sense, we'll get into later in the show. It did make the most sense with the two babyface champions that we got, well, with Damien, not really a babyface, but Jay's sort of been there and done that, and with Cody, two babyfaces, it didn't really seem like the right time for Jay to have the briefcase. I know that he could have waited to use it, but with where Drew's at the moment and how they use that to mixed reactions by the looks of it on Twitter, or X I should say, it was the right decision in my opinion. The match was pretty good. I thought Chad Gable looked great in it, and I was really happy with his performance and the time that he got. LA Knight got some great reactions, huge pop. Jay had some good reactions, huge pop. Drew obviously ended up winning the match. Carmelo Hayes had some good spots as well, and so did Andrade. I really thought that they all came together to bring on a pretty decent match. I wouldn't say it was my favourite Money in the Bank match by any stretch of the imagination, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. And of course, as I say, Drew won that match, and we'll get into what went down with that in a few matches' time. Before that, we'll move on to the next match, which was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Now again, if you watch my main channel video, I made the bold decision to say Braun Breaker, but in my short, I chickened out and I said Sami Zayn, and of course Sami Zayn did end up winning. It was kind of written really like being in Canada. The thing I found, it was a good match. We'll start off with that. Great match, did enjoy it. Quite intense, fast pace. I do like Braun Breaker. I think his character's a little bit. I think his character's decent. I hate his entrance theme. I'll just say I much preferred his old entrance theme, and I feel like that does have a big part of a character. Whether you agree or not, I'm not sure. But Sami Zayn, great performance. Really elevated Sami. Sami keeps getting put in these storylines where he's the underdog and he's getting beaten down from underneath and he has to rise up. That will wear thin very soon for someone like myself, even though I'm a really big fan of Sami Zayn. Braun Breaker looked good, pretty much had the match won, and then Sami Zayn at the last minute stole it from him. I was surprised they had Braun Breaker lose clean after all the destruction he's been doing on the weekly shows and all the people he's been taking out. I don't think it makes the most sense. I don't think it made the most sense to make this match in the first place if they weren't looking to have Sami lose personally, or at least have some sort of botch finish to sort of protect Braun Breaker. Not that I think it hurts him that much, but it's kind of like, why? That's the feeling I've been left with that match. Why? Say great match, just questionable outcome. So take that what you will. Next up then, for some reason, why this didn't go on last, I don't know, and I still think this match should have gone on last after watching the whole pay-per-view. Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. Of course, Damian Priest ended up walking out as champion, but halfway through the match, or towards the end of the match, Drew McIntyre cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Made this a triple threat match, and of course, he pretty much had the match run. And who turned up from under the ring? None other than Mr. CM Punk. Phil Brooks came and messed up McIntyre's chances of becoming World Heavyweight Champion again, leading Damian Priest to retain. But what I really liked about this, despite the match being pretty good as well, again, I would just say good, it didn't blow me away. Great to see Seth back in the ring for sure. But what I really liked about this ending is that not only has CM Punk ruined Drew McIntyre's chances, and we saw in the post-show before the panel went live that Drew McIntyre, he elbowed Adam Pearce, he was absolutely going mental. Stu Barrett had to calm him down, or Wade Barrett, however you know him as, and send him to the back. Again, really elevating this story. Let's really hope that SummerSlam, if they're going to go with that match, which it looks like they probably will do, that we have a good payoff, because this has been the best story that we have put on since the Bloodline stuff with Sami Zayn, in my opinion, and the Cody stuff, of course. So it's been phenomenal. I really liked it, but not only has CM Punk screwed Drew, he's also screwed Seth, because now Seth can no longer challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the commentators did a great job at emphasising that point for the viewers at home. And I really liked that. And then we had that little bit of moment between Seth and CM Punk, because Of course, that was the original plan for WrestleMania 40, as we found out in the Behind the Curtain documentary, and many of us knew that anyway. That was the original plan, to see CM Punk and Seth, and this Drew McIntyre story almost happened organically. So now CM Punk has two enemies, big enemies coming at him, and there's lots to look forward to as a WWE fan. The Judgment Day story gets to keep going with this falling apart, and Finn Balor making a sly comment about whatever you say, boss, when Damian Priest said don't get involved, and we get to see the demise of the Judgment Day more. Damian Priest's reign gets to go on a little bit longer and cement him as the main event player. I know there was some mixed reactions to this on Twitter, but personally, I think it was booked to perfection. I think it's done everyone involved a favour, and it's created intrigue, and that's what is important. We're intrigued, we're invested in all these stories that have their own stories, but also coming together and sort of latch onto each other, and that has been the beauty of Triple H's run as Chief Content Creator, or whatever his title is. Everything feels interconnected, and the stories have really leveled up, and the intensity and the personal aspect of the stories have really leveled up. Despite the match being good, like a solid match, not great, not bad, just good. The ending and the booking I thought was top tier. Really enjoyed it. Highlight of the night by far, in my opinion. So we'll move on to the next match, which is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which objectively, though at the start I will say it did not look like it was going to be match of the night. There was a lot of botches and things happening on early on. They really did transform it around, and I would actually say that this ended up being the match of the night. Closely followed by Sami and Braun Breaker, I would say. But loads of ladder spots going on towards the second half of that match. They really took it up a gear. And though, as I say, the first half of the match I thought was a bit ropey, they really took it to another level. Really enjoyed the women's ladder match in the end, actually. Chelsea Green, she had a great run, I thought. Tiffany Stratton ended up winning the briefcase, which I said Io Sky for the double back-to-back double back-to-back Money in the Bank win, but I said to my partner while watching it, I should have just said Tiffany Stratton, because I think we all know that it made the most sense and WWE have the most invested in her. I like her. I wouldn't say I like her as much as the rest of the WWE universe. I do still feel that people like Io Sky personally. However, this is how stars are created, and this is how, if you're not invested in a character, this is how you can be invested in a character. So I'm not mad about it. She had a decent performance, great swanton to the outside. I thought Io also had a really good performance as well. I thought those two were the two highlights, as well as Chelsea Green. She took a massive bump at the end. It was never going to be her night to win it, because it doesn't make any sense. However, boy, I would have loved to have seen Chelsea Green win that match for the pop, for sure. But with what happened with Drew, we need a Money in the Bank, a legit, no discredit to Chelsea Green, we need a legit Money in the Bank holder who will carry that title briefcase for a while. Now Drew has not got his anymore, and Tiffany Stratton fits that bill perfectly, and I think it fits her character perfectly as well. So probably the match of the night, a decent ending. The women really took it home in the end, I would say, for sure. And then of course move into the main event, and we'll get to the big announcement at the end. I'm saving that, between Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, I can't remember if I said all those, and Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, and Tonga Loa was on the outside. I didn't like it. Like, it was fine, but I was, to be honest, I was tapped out by this point, and it wasn't that long of a show. I don't know why I'm not invested in the storyline. Like, I love the Bloodline storyline, and I am craving Roman to return, so we get that. But man, I just wasn't that invested. Like, there was some good stuff. I thought Jacob Fatu looked fantastic. The Bloodline won. Solo Sikoa pinned Cody Rhodes. That changed the match for me, because if Cody Rhodes and that would have won that match, I would have just been like, what is the point? However, they obviously put it on last because the Undisputed Champion got pinned by Solo Sikoa, immediately elevating Solo. And the rest of the Bloodline, to be fair. I thought they pretty much dominated the match. Of course, there was some foul play in there as well. But this was what they needed to push them into that next level. Doesn't mean I enjoyed the match all that much. However, at least the outcome was correct, at least in my opinion. So, but do I think it should have main evented? Absolutely not. I understand with the Cody thing, but Damian Priest and that whole storyline definitely should have main evented, because it was definitely, I say, apart, not match of the night, but in terms of booking of the night, that match had it for me. So those are my opinions on the matches. But before we get to the end of this video, we will talk about the fact that John Cena returned and announced his retirement tour for next year. A little bit shaky, wasn't it, when he came out and said, I'm officially announcing my retirement. I was thinking, wait, he said he had one more match in him. Then I thought, because he said he'd explain it, I was thinking, man, is he going to do an Edge and say he's got an injury and he can't compete anymore? That we had 9 years ago, or over 9 years ago now, 9 years ago at the time of his return, I suppose. But of course, it said in this t-shirt 2025, and that's when my fears went away. Next year will be the last year of Cena. I mean, what do you say about that? Cena, definitely one of the GOATs. I literally posted a poll and short where I said Stone Cold was better, and so many Cena fans are saying, no, Cena is the greatest of all time. And as I say, yes, I do prefer Stone Cold, but that does not mean I do not like John Cena. He is up there, and I can completely agree with anyone that says he is the GOAT, because there's very few select people that you can say is the greatest of all time, and it's kind of like, well, you can't really argue too much of it, really, and Cena is one of those people for sure. Of course, his career has been coming to an end for a while. He's been stepping in and out. He hasn't been quite the same as what he was. You know, it's just fact. WrestleMania 39 was a disappointment. His last run with LA Knight and Solo Sikoa was okay. But of course, it's John Cena, and we're just happy to see him. He's an absolute pleasure to watch on the screen. Positivity, just great inside and outside the ring in both movies, wrestling, his general charity work, just anything that he does, he puts his all into it. A massive inspiration, and he definitely will be missed. I'm fortunate enough that I saw him in 2014 November at a live show in Manchester. He main evented against Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins was Money in the Bank. That's how long ago we're talking now. I must be getting old. So I'm so pleased I saw him. But my girlfriend said to me, she said, if we can get tickets and there's one, you know, a decent amount away from us, she would definitely be interested in going to say she's seen Cena, because if you can see Cena, because he's that much of an icon and a superstar. Again, he's in that league with Roman and sorry to say it, but like Hogan at the time, Austin. He's an Undertaker. He's an attraction. He's not just a superstar; he's an attraction. People come to see him, not just a product. So I'm very excited to see what they do with this. I'm very excited to see Cena's last run, and when it's all said and done, of course, it will be very sad, but it will also be a perfect bow on what has been an extraordinary career. So what a way to go out on it. So that was Money in the Bank. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. I thought it was okay. It definitely wasn't the PLE of the year by a long shot. It's probably one of the weakest that I've seen in recent time. However, don't let that make you think I didn't like it. It was just okay for me. And of course, we've got SummerSlam coming up next, I think, followed by Bash at Berlin. Or it might be the other way around, actually. It might be Bash at Berlin and SummerSlam. I can't remember. Anyway, there's lots to look forward to in WWE. So, and AEW, to be fair. You know, this is a predominant WWE channel. Don't think I'm an AEW hater, not by any shorts. They've got lots good going on. Wrestling is great right now. We're very fortunate to be living in it. But yes, let me know what you thought of Money in the Bank down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a big fat thumbs up. That'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, subscribe for more wrestling action. But ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next video. See ya!